Welcome to practice today. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be doing some poses that we don't typically do in our practice. One is pyramid, so it will be bending over our front leg. So if you have very tight hamstrings, this pose can be challenging. So having blocks handy can be very helpful. If you don't have blocks, you could also have a chair handy. So let's begin today's practice on our backs, and we'll just begin here to settle in and just come into the practice, come into here and now. So start by taking a deep breath in, and then just let the air go out your mouth. Feel yourself settling in as you let the air go. Let's do that one more time. So prepare to take a full deep breath in through your belly, your ribs, all the way up to your chest, filling your lungs completely, and then letting the air go once again through your neck, through your mouth. Bring awareness to the muscles in your back and feel yourself settling in. Letting the muscles of your arms relax, your neck relax. And also notice your face. Notice if you're holding tension. Sometimes the space between your eyebrows, your jaw, and your tongue. Bring awareness to your breath, the physical sensations of your inhales and your exhales. Knowing that throughout practice today, you can always come back to yourself, to the here and the now, by bringing your awareness back to your breath. So continue to breathe here, and I'm going to read a quote about yoga. This quote is by Yogi Sri Deshikatar. His definition of yoga is to attain what was previously unattainable. So when you're unable to do something and find a means to bring it into your reality, that is yoga. So think about something right now that might seem unattainable to you. And know that with practice, continuous practice, that it can be attainable. And this could be something in yoga, maybe a physical pose. If you keep practicing and doing, it's possible to attain a specific pose. But also in your life, maybe you have a difficult relationship and it seems impossible right now. I'm thinking about ways to make that relationship better just by small little things. So take a deep breath in and let the air go again. And then slowly bring yourself up to a seated position. And then once you arrived in a seated position, you can right away come to all fours. So bring your hands underneath your shoulders, spread your fingers, and we'll start with some gentle cat-cow movements. So drawing your chin and tailbone up, and then tucking in, drawing your chin to your chest, rainbowing your spine. And then moving with your own breath, breathing in as you come up, exhaling as you tuck in your chin and tailbone. And we'll do that just a couple more breaths, breathing in and out. And then on your next exhale, just sink into a little child's pose. You don't even have to go down all the way. And then as you're here, just slowly give your neck a no shake, just moving from side to side. And then a yes, moving your head up and down. Now come back to all fours as you breathe in, And then curl your toes, lift your knees off the ground, and then bring your hips high and back to downward dog, keeping your knees bent. Notice if you're holding your neck tightly, and just let the muscles of your neck relax. And then begin to pedal your feet. Moving slowly with breath, breathing in as one heel comes up. Exhaling as the other heel goes down. Almost like in a circle pattern. You can imagine you're moving up and down in a circle. And imagine your breath moving in a circle as you breathe in and out, never stopping. Just a continual breathing in and out. Now look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands and come to halfway lift. Have a strong, straight, flat back. The crown of your head will be pressing forward. And then exhale and fold, keeping your knees very bent. Let your neck relax. We'll stay here just for a breath. Now press your feet firmly into the earth and rise up, bringing your arms first out to the sides and then overhead, reaching, extending. Draw your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So press into the earth as you reach up, rise up. Exhale, hinge and fold, tense your fingers, step your right foot back into low lunge. Then step your left foot back into all fours. Now place your left hand right underneath your face and reach your right arm up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands down, bringing both hands underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes, bring your hips high and back. And then look to your hands. Walk your feet up to your hands. Come to halfway lift, strong, straight back. Exhale, hinge and fold. And then press into the ground to rise up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Press your feet into the earth to reach, rise up. Hinge and forward fold, tense your fingers, step your left foot back into low lunge, and then step your right foot back into all fours. Now this time place your right hand underneath your face and then lift your left hand up to the sky. As you exhale, bring your left hand down, place your hands underneath your shoulders, curl your toes, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands, come to halfway lift, hinge and forward fold, and then press into the earth to rise up, reaching, extending. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So take a full deep breath in, hinge and forward fold, bringing your hands through your heart center. Tense your fingers, step your right foot back into low lunge. Now plant your right hand and then lift your left hand up to the sky. Plant your left hand, step your left hand back to downward dog. Pivot forward into plank or plank on knees, and then squeeze your sides with your arms as you lower all the way to your belly, resting your forehead on the mat. Now draw your shoulder blades down and back and lift your chest up as you breathe in, and then exhale, bring your forehead down. When you're ready to take a breath in, first press into all fours and then curl your toes to bring your hips high and back to downward dog. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands and come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold, and then press into the ground to rise up, reaching, extending. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Another deep breath in, hinge and fold, bring your hands through your heart center. This time step your left foot back into low lunge. And then Plant your left hand, lift your right hand up to the ground, up to the sky. Bring your right hand down, step your right foot back to downward dog. Breathe in as you come to all fours. And then lower all the way to the ground, resting your forehead on the mat. Draw your shoulder blades down and back, lift your chest up, press the tops of your feet into the earth to baby cobra, and then lower your forehead to the ground. Now press into all fours, curl your toes, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands and come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold, and then press into the ground to rise up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Once again, press into the earth to rise up, reaching, extending, and then bring your hands through heart center to hinge and fold. Step your right foot back. We're going to high lunge, so adjust your feet so your feet are like they're in two tracks. Now press into your front foot, your left foot, and rise up. We'll start with hands on hips as you get your balance. So standing on the tippy toes of your back foot. Now bring your hands up to the sky. And we're going to do a little twist. So bring your right hand forward and left hand back. So we'll stay here for a breath. Now bring both hands up to the sky and then frame your left foot with your hands. Step your left foot back into downward dog. Breathe in as you come to plank or plank on knees, and then squeeze your sides as you lower all the weight to your belly. Press the tops of your feet into the earth as you rise up into cobra, still keeping your shoulder blades down and back. And lower down as you exhale. Now press into all fours first, and then bring your hips high and back to downward dog. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands, come to halfway lift. Now bend your knees and come up into chair pose. Now bring your hands to your heart and then bring your right elbow to your left knee. We'll stay here for a breath. Come back to center and then stand up tall, reaching your arms up to the sky. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So take a full deep breath in, hinge and fold, bringing your hands through heart center. This time step your left foot back. We're going to high lunge, so arrange your feet so you have good stability. Now press into your right foot as you rise up, bringing your hands first to your hips, maybe adjusting your feet a little bit to get your balance. Standing on the tippy toes of your back foot, bring your arms up to the sky, but notice if you've drawn your shoulder blades up to your ears and bring your shoulders down. And this time we're going to bring right hand back, left hand forward into a twist here. So take a breath in and out. Bring your hands back to center. And then frame your right foot with your hands, planting your hands, step your right foot back into downward dog. Breathe in as you come into plank or plank on knees and lower all the way to your belly, resting your forehead on the mat. Press the tops of your feet into the earth to rise up into cobra, shoulders down and back, feeling the sensation in your upper and lower back. Lowering your forehead down to the earth. Now press into all fours and then curl your toes, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. Look to your hands, walk your feet to your hands, come to halfway lift, hinge and fold, bend your knees and rise up to chair pose. sometimes also called awkward pose, Utkatasana. Now bring your hands to your heart, and we're going to bring left elbow to right knee into a twist. And as you're here, notice if one of your knees is pushed forward and see if you can align your knees. So we'll take a breath here, come back to center, press into the ground to rise up, reaching, extending. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So press into the earth to rise up, and we're going to sink back into chair pose, awkward pose. Now, step your left foot back and come into warrior 2 feet. So your back foot will be planted in the mat, and open up your hips and chest. So you're gazing out over your right fingertips, really pressing both feet firmly into the earth, getting your footing. Noticing if your right knee kind of presses inward. See if you can press it out a little bit. Now, on your breath in, flip your right palm, reaching overhead to reverse. And then as you breathe out, come to warrior 2 just for a moment. Then place your left hand on your left hip, your right elbow to right knee, and open up your chest. You could stay here, or you could bring your left hand up to the sky, or maybe even overhead towards the front of the room, front of your mat. We'll stay here for a breath. Now press into your right foot to stand up and straighten your front leg. So we're into this triangle pose. So reach forward with your right hand as far as you can. When you can't reach anymore, place your right hand on your right shin or down to the ground or on a block. Left hand on your left hip. And you could stay here or open your hand up to the sky. So bring your left hand up to the sky. But if you feel like you're compromised and you're folding inward, maybe rise up a little bit with your right hand so that you can keep your chest open. Now bend your right foot and press into warrior 2. So once again, gazing out over your right fingertips. Take a breath here. Now cartwheel your hands down to frame your right foot. Step your right foot back into plank or plank on knees. And then squeeze your sides as you lower all the way to your belly. Now press up into cobra or maybe upward dog. So lifting your knees and thighs off the ground. And then lowering all the way down, resting your forehead on the mat. Now press first into all fours and then into downward dog. Look to your hands. Walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold. And then press into the ground to rise up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So press into the earth to rise up, reaching, extending. Bring your hands to your heart. Actually, we'll sink into chair pose. So bring your arms up to the sky, your legs in a zigzag position. Now, step your right foot back this time and plant your right foot into the mat. So you'll be in warrior feet. Now open your arms up into warrior 2. So this time gazing out over your left fingertips. Once again, finding adjustment in your feet, finding a steady posture. Now flip your left palm to reverse, really feeling an opening in your left side body. And then come back to warrior 2. Place your left hand on left knee, right hand on right hip. Find that position where you have openness in your chest. So you could stay here. You could bring your right arm up to the sky or overhead. So we'll take a breath here. Now press into your left foot to rise back up to Warrior Two. Take a breath here. Notice if you're holding any tension in your face. See if there's any place you can find softness, maybe in your shoulders and your neck. Now straighten your your left foot. Reach forward with your left hand as far as you can. Place your right hand on right hip, left hand to left shin or to the floor. But be aware of where your chest is. So if you have to close down to touch the floor, consider coming up a little bit higher and keeping that openness across your chest. So drawing your right shoulder back in space. So staying here for a breath, maybe bringing your right hand up to the sky. Coming back to your breath. Coming back into here and now. Now bend your left foot to rise up into Warrior Two. And then cartwheel your hands to frame your left foot. Step your left foot back into Downward Dog. We'll take a breath here, let your neck relax. Draw your hips up to the sky and draw your heels towards the earth. So feeling a lengthening along the back side of your leg. Now look to your hands. Walk your feet up to your hands and come to halfway lift. Hinge and fold and press into the earth to rise up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So take a full deep breath in and then hinge and fold. Tent your fingers. Step your left foot back. And we're going to walk our hands over to the left. So we'll come into a wide leg stance. And now forward fold. So let your neck relax. You could have a block underneath your hands, or you could let go. We'll stay here for a breath. Now, place your left hand underneath your face and then bring your right hand up to the sky to twist. We'll stay here for a breath. Now bring your right hand down. Now walk your hands back up to frame your right foot. Step your left foot up about a foot or so, and we're coming into pyramid pose. So this could be a time that you could use a block. So straighten your front right leg, but not locking your knee. If this is too much, if your hamstrings are very tight, you could even come to a chair. So coming up higher with a flat back, but really feeling the stretch in the back of your legs. Drawing your right hip back in space and feel like you're plugging the socket of your right leg into your hip bone. So from whatever position you're in, if you're using the chair or using a block, let your neck relax. Now, if you're using a block, place your left hand on the block or on the floor, and we're going to bring our right arm up to the sky for a revolved triangle. So taking a breath here, and then place your right hand down to the ground, and then step your right foot back and we'll come into plank. Lower all the way to the ground, resting your forehead on the mat. Press the tops of your feet into the earth, rise up into cobra or upward dog. Lower all the way down, resting your forehead on the mat. Now press first into all fours, curl your toes, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands and come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold. Press up into the earth to rise up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So let's do the other side. So reach up, stretching, extending, hinge and fold your hands at your heart, tense your fingers, step your right foot back this time. Plant your right foot, and now we're going to walk our hands to the right and come into a wide leg forward fold. So let your neck relax. We'll stay here for a breath. Now come to a flat back. Place your right hand underneath your face and then bring your left hand up to the sky. And then bring your left hand down. Now walk your hands back to the front of your mat to the left. So your left foot will be in front. Now step your back foot up about halfway up. Your right foot will be at a 45-degree angle. So coming back into pyramid pose again. Once again, using a block or a chair to find a really nice stretch in the back of your left leg. So notice where your hips are and see if you could bring your hips a little bit more to the right to straighten. So bring alignment of your hips. Really plugging your leg bone into your left hip. And then once you've found a position where you're feeling an openness and a stretch, let your neck relax. So we'll stay here for a breath. And another breath. I should have said 2 breaths. Now, you could place your right hand on a block or on the ground and then lift your left hand up to the sky for revolved triangle. We'll take 2 breaths here. And then bring your left hand down to frame your left foot and then step back into plank or plank on knees. Now lower your knees all the way to the ground and then lower your belly all the way to the ground, your forehead to the ground. Take a breath here. And then we're going to do a cobra progression. So press the tops of your feet into the earth and just lift up into baby cobra, drawing your shoulder blades back as you breathe in. And then exhale down. Now, bringing on your breath in, press a little bit higher into cobra, still keeping your shoulders down and back, feeling the muscles of your upper and lower back working. And then lowering down on an exhale. So next we'll come up into upward dog. So pressing up. If upward dog doesn't work for your practice, come into cobra. But if you'd like to come into upward dog, press the tops of your feet into the earth. Bring your hips and knees off the ground. And we'll take a breath or 2 here. And then lower all the way to your belly. Now press your hands into your mat. Bring your knees wide and then sink into child's pose. So rest your forehead on the mat. Stretch your arms long, reaching. And we'll take a couple of breaths here just to settle in. Press up into all fours. And then we're going to stand on our knees. If you would like a little cushion underneath your knees, you could fold your mat. So come to a position where your hands are on your hips, and we're going to use the leg strength, the front of our legs, to lean back just a little bit and then lean forward. Now draw your shoulder blades back to open up your chest, bringing your heart up to the sky. And let's try that again, just leaning back a little bit. So let's bring in some arm movement. So we're going to start with our right arm. Bring your right arm circling back and around. So as you're doing that, noticing the strength in the front of your legs, feeling that openness as you reach your arm up, bringing your heart up, and then leaning back. And let's do that one more time. Maybe grazing your heel with your right hand, your right heel with your right hand. Bring your right arm up and then to your hip. Now let's do that with the left side. So bring your left arm up, opening up your heart, feeling the strength in the front of your legs, and circling your left arm backwards. And then coming up. Let's do that with breath. So breathing in, exhaling as you sweep back. And one more time. Deep breath in, open your heart, feel the strength in the front of your legs, lean back, maybe grazing your heel. Bring your left arm up to the sky and then down to your hip. And then you can straighten the mat and come to a seated position. So start with both legs in front of you, and we'll just come to a staff pose or Dandasana, just sitting up tall, so your toes will be pointed up to the sky, palms of your hands right next to your hips, and we'll take a couple breaths here, breathing in and out. Now bring your left foot towards the inside of your right thigh. Sit up tall, bring your arms up to the sky, and we're going to twist to the right. So bring your right hand towards the back and your left hand towards the front. You could place your left hand on your right knee and sit up tall. Notice if you've shifted your weight on your sitting bones, and see if you can even that out. Now we'll come back to center, bring your arms up to the sky, and we're going to fold over our right leg. So once again, feeling a sensation of a stretch in the back of your right leg. Notice if you're holding tension in your upper body, let your neck relax. And just breathing. So we'll come up to a seated position. Now we're going to move our bodies to the left. So bring your left hand up to the sky, and we're going to fold once again over our right leg, but this time having an openness in your chest. So really feeling the stretch along your left side body, all the way from your shoulder, all the way down to your left hip. So you might need to play with that placement. So you're feeling that openness all across your left side body. But still feeling the sensation of a stretch in your right leg. So you don't have to be in complete stillness. So it might feel good to play around to find out what kind of a stretch you need in your body. So as you're ready to take a breath in, come up to seated, and then bring both of your legs straight in front of you. And then we'll go to the other side. So bring the bottom of your right foot to your left thigh. So we'll start with our bringing our arms up and then twisting to the left. So bring your left hand towards your back, and your right hand could go on your left knee. So sitting up tall, feeling the twist, and breathing as you hold the pose. Maybe noticing on your exhales that you're able to twist a little bit further, but don't push it. So just find a position where you feel the sensation of your body working, but not overstretching or over twisting. So come back to center. Bring your arms up to the sky on an inhale, and then forward fold over your left leg. Noticing the sensation of the stretch in the back of your left leg. Maybe even feeling the stretch all the way in your back. And bringing attention again to your breath. Breathing in and out. As you breathe in, come back to sitting. Bring your right arm up to the sky and then fold over your left leg. So once again, finding a position where you can find that stretch all the way from your hip to your shoulder. So it might mean opening up a little bit, or maybe folding. Not overstretching or overworking, just finding what your body needs. Maybe this isn't working for you at all, so maybe just coming to a more of a forward fold. So just finding a position that works for you. So we'll stay for one more breath. And then come back to a seated position. You can straighten both legs. Find evenness on both of your sitting bones. Bring your arms up to the sky and then fold over both legs, straight legs. Maybe move your neck around a little bit. Notice if you're holding tension in your neck. Maybe tension in your shoulders, and see if you can find some softness. Bringing attention to your breath. Once again, breathing in and out. And then come back to a seated position. And then we're going to sink all the way to our backs. So start by bringing your knees up to your chest, and we'll just take a little roll from side to side. So bring your arms out to the sides like airplanes, and we'll start by moving from side to side, so twisting towards the right first, coming back to center, and then twisting towards the left. So let's do that one more time. First to the right, and then to the left. Now we'll twist. You can continue to move from side to side, or you can move all the way to the the right. Might need to adjust your knee placement. You could place your right hand on your left knee, and maybe look to the left. So feeling the stretch along the back side of your hip through up to your lower back. And coming back to center, and then moving to the opposite side, to the left side. Maybe placing your left hand on your right knee. And just feeling yourself settling in, feeling your breath slowing down. And then coming back to center, give your knees a nice big hug. Maybe draw your forehead up to your knees. And then come into a full body stretch, reaching, extending. Deep breath in and let it go as you sink into your final resting position. It could be Shavasana or some other position that feels good to you. Maybe bringing some support to the back of your knees and settling in. Bring awareness back to your breath, the physical sensation of your breath. Breathing in and out. And then bring awareness to your legs. And use your gentle breath to send relaxation down to your legs, removing any tension. Feeling your legs sinking into your mat. Next, bring awareness to your arms and send your gentle breath all the way down your shoulder, past your elbow to your fingertips. Sweeping in relaxation, letting go of all tension, and then letting your arms completely let go, sinking into the earth. Next, bring awareness to your back, your upper back, mid-back, and low back. Feel the muscles completely relax, allowing yourself to further settle in. Bring awareness to your neck. And let the muscles of your neck relax and feel your head cradled into the earth. Bring awareness to your face. Let all of the muscles relax. Your jaw, your tongue, the space between your eyes. Just take a moment to think about your practice. Think about how this practice, you did something that you never did before. I've never taught this particular practice. This is yoga. Now you've done the work. You can let go of all thoughts. There's nothing to do. Now is your time to simply be. feel your breath start to deepen. With each breath brings oxygen, but also energy. So feel the energy moving through your arms and legs. Maybe you might feel some movement in your arms and legs as the energy courses through. And continue to bring awareness to your deep inhales and exhales. Bringing more movement to your arms and legs. And when you're ready, roll onto your side. And whatever side you've rolled onto, use the arm of that side as a little pillow, maybe bringing your knees up towards your chest into a fetal position. And take a moment to thank yourself for practicing today. Thank yourself for doing something that you've never done before. When you're ready, press yourself up to a seated position. And then bring your hands to your heart. Thank you so much for practicing today. Namaste.